Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're breaking down a playbook for launching your startup, showing you how to build an audience that's actually ready and waiting for you on day one. This is all based on a proven framework that honestly lays it all out for new founders.
Okay, let's just dive right in, because this is the question, right? This is what keeps founders up at night. You can have the most brilliant idea in the world, but as our source material points out, getting those first clients is a grind. So we're tackling the single biggest challenge for any new venture: how to avoid launching to an empty room.
All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by framing that pre-launch challenge. Then we'll quickly define a key term you need to know: SAS technology. After that, we get into the meat of it, the 5-step playbook, and we'll wrap up with the one final rule you absolutely have to follow.
So let's kick things off with that challenge. The source calls getting your first clients a Herculean task, and for good reason. It's not just about having a great product, it's about having a really solid plan that drives your strategy for a successful launch from the very beginning.
Right. This is the whole point. The purpose of a pre-launch strategy is to build that momentum before you're even officially on the market. You want to find your ideal customers and get a conversation going, so you're not burning through cash trying to acquire them for more than they're actually worth to you down the line.
Now, before we jump into that 5-step playbook, the source uses a term we absolutely have to define. And it's probably not what you think. It's really key to understanding how to measure the success of everything we're about to cover.
Okay, so I know what you're thinking. SAS, right? Like software as a service. But in this context, the source is talking about something a little different: a statistical analysis system. For our purposes today, just think of it as the analytical brain you'll use to measure your pre-launch marketing, to see what's working, what isn't, and where you need to put your energy. And that brings us to the real heart of this thing: the 5 essential strategies. You can think of this as your month-by-month game plan to build that crucial momentum and make sure you have an audience waiting for you on launch day.
Now, what's so cool about this is how it lays out this really clear step-by-step path. It's kind of like a psychological journey, you know? You start with a home base to get people curious, then you drive traffic, you engage those first users to get them committed, you supercharge it with rewards to build a real community, and you keep it all going with content. Your pre-launch landing page, it's everything. It's your product's very first impression. The source is clear. It must have a crystal clear value proposition, like what problem are you solving? It needs strong calls to action, and this is crucial: a reason for people to sign up right now. That sense of urgency or exclusivity, that creates a fear of missing out, and believe me, that's a powerful motivator.
Okay, so the page is live. Now what? You've got to get people there. This step is all about turning those curious first visitors into active cheerleaders for your product. You can do that with a contest that gets them to share with friends, a countdown timer to build anticipation, and just keeping those new signups warm with some interesting email updates.
Okay, this next step is absolutely 100% critical, because it lets you connect with the most valuable resource you have: your early adopters. Beta testing isn't just about squashing bugs, it's about building a real community.
And here's why that's such a game changer. Think of beta testing as your secret weapon. You get priceless, honest feedback that lets you improve the product before the big launch. But maybe even more important, you turn these first users into passionate brand ambassadors who will do the marketing for you.
So, does this stuff actually work in the real world? Well, the source gives us a killer example that pretty much all of us use every single day: Dropbox.
See, this is the key. Dropbox didn't just build a product in some secret lab and then drop it on the world. No way. They built their user base right alongside the product itself, making their beta testers a core part of the journey from the very beginning. And the result of that strategy? Over 1 million users in just 7 months. I mean, that's the power of a really well-done pre-launch that uses beta testing to create a viral loop. It's pretty incredible proof that this playbook works.
So you might be asking, how did Dropbox get that crazy viral sharing? Well, that leads us right into step 4, pouring some fuel on the fire by rewarding your early users. The source points to companies like Evernote, who just mastered the art of giving users a reason to spread the word.
This slide really breaks down that powerful give and get dynamic, right? It's just a classic principle of reciprocity. You give away early access, special deals, or maybe some free premium features. And in return, you get what you need most: honest feedback, viral sharing, and a growing army of brand ambassadors who actually feel invested in your success.
All right, our final step in the playbook is all about playing the long game.
This is about building a real asset, a content engine that helps your target audience find you online all on their own, creating what the source calls unstoppable momentum.
Now, the trick here isn't just to, write stuff. You have to be strategic. Use keyword tools to see what people are actually searching for. Create content that is genuinely helpful, that solves their problems, and then, for goodness sakes, share every single post everywhere you can to get it seen.
Okay, so you've done all 5 steps. You've got a page, you've run a campaign, you've engaged with testers, you've offered rewards, and you started a blog. But there's one last rule, a really important one that holds this whole thing together.
This is it. This is maybe the most important takeaway of the whole explainer. Remember that statistical analysis system we talked about at the beginning? This is where it all pays off. All your hard work, all your pre-launch efforts, they're just shots in the dark if you aren't measuring what's actually working.
So what does that actually mean? It means you've got to be obsessed with your data. You need to know which channels are bringing you the most signups. You need to see which blog posts people actually like. You track your conversion rates. You find out what's effective. And then you just do more of that. It's that simple.
And that really leaves us with the final question, doesn't it? You've followed the playbook, you've landed those first crucial users, but as the source brilliantly reminds us, that is just the beginning. The real question is, now that you've landed, how are you going to expand? Thanks for joining this explainer.